I've never been more excited for a fashion designer. Welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Irvin with another video for you guys. Yes, it's another first impression video. There's quite a bit of them coming out. I'm sorry, guys. This is going to be on Smile Down the Runway, an interesting anime that people had mentioned for a while. And when I saw it, I was like, this does not sound like something that I'm going to like. And man, the first episode was pretty good. Now, before I continue, a few things. One, if you have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button if you guys don't mind, and you'll be notified when I go live or when I upload videos. Also, if you want to further support my channel, please consider becoming a Patreon or just commenting, liking, and sharing. That helps the channel itself. There's also a giveaway video happening right now in my channel. Go check that video out. It should be the trailer. You guys can get some awesome anime merch at a very, very reasonable price for free. So make sure you go check out that video. Lastly, guys, I want to say that there is a small spoiler alert. Not a big one. I'll talk about the episode, but there's not really anything to spoil. If you've read what the anime is about, you probably have basically seen the first episode. Smile Down the Runway is going to be airing on Funimation, so you guys can go watch it there. Not sure if it's going to be dubbed. This is one that I'm actually considering reacting to. I don't react to anime like this typically, but I'm considering it. It's one that really grabbed my attention, and I'm considering now to add it to my reaction list, but we'll see. We'll just see what happens on episode 2 and if I decide to watch it or not. This anime, genre-wise, probably just by the name and what I've said so far, you guys can assume this is an anime based on fashion design, and also on models. Runaway, yes, models. So, we follow the story of two kids. One is a girl, and the first episode really is more focused on her, at least in the beginning part. She is a daughter of a fashion designer who is the president of a company that releases clothes, but also, takes models other places like Paris. Paris being, one of the places that every model wants to go and be in the walkway, or in the runway, showcasing whatever brand you're showcasing. So his daughter has this dream of not just working for him, but also going to Paris and having the best, runway, and et cetera, et cetera. She is pretty tall at 10 years old, but then she stops growing so much and she ends up being short. And for those who don't know, when it comes to modeling, and even in some Broadway shows and some productions like that is life cased, a lot of people prefer tall girls. Now not so much, but it's still very much shown in more prestige events like the one that she wants to go in Paris. And they prefer the taller girls, the slimmer girls, because clothes will fit them better and they'll showcase better in front of all the people while they're walking down the runway. So she obviously gets her dreams crushed by her father, and she insists so much that her father says, "You're fired." She gets fired by her father, and then after that, she has to basically audition, and it goes to the extent of almost every day she auditions for her father's company to see if she can get back in, and that's her dream. Now she meets this other guy, and we won't get too much into details how they meet, but essentially this guy is in a club where he designs clothes. He's the only one in the club. He comes from a very poor family. He has 3 sisters who he wants to support and have them fulfill their goals, and a sick mother who's in the hospital. So his goal is really not to become a designer, but to just have a job. Designing is his passion. but he's willing to put it aside to provide for his family. Very noble of him, and it can relate to a lot of people that have done that, where they've placed their passions aside to kind of support their family, because sometimes your passions will not pay for the bills. Your passions will just be a passion. So he says, I'll still make clothes for you girls, but I'm fine with getting a job. I'm fine with being the provider of the house. He has an interaction with the other girl, and essentially he designs this this piece of clothing for her that she goes to audition with, where she gets hired. And in her contract, they're making her contract, and they say, remember, you can't take pictures with anyone else now unless you have permission through us. Like, oops, someone took a picture of me downstairs, and she's like, well, where did you buy that clothes? And she lied and said, oh, I bought it here. It's part of my dad's company clothing. Which, by the way, I think it's weird, because if someone is a person who's auditioning girls and wants them to have clothes of the company, she should know what the company sells. But I won't go into detail like that. The point is, everyone on social media goes crazy of her clothing, so much that the father is obligated to offer or to buy the product from the kid, the design from the kid, and then he goes even further and offers him a job as a designer in his company. So the story really is going to be focused on these two kids, her becoming the model that she wants to be, and him becoming the designer that he has always have a passion for. Gosh, it reminds me of so many other animes, but at the same time it's unique, because so many animes focus on other stuff, and this is something that hasn't really been touched too much on. The fashion designing, clothing area of anime is not big. You don't, when you think fashion design, you don't think, oh yeah, that anime that came out in 2014. No, you don't think about that. So it's interesting that they brought this concept into anime. We're going to learn more about that industry through anime, but also have that uniqueness to it. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how these characters develop. There's obviously that one girl eventually finds out that people out there are going to tell you that you are not going to make it, and she becomes that person, because at one point she tells the guy, you're not going to make it as a designer if you're just here doing nothing, if you don't go to college, and et cetera, et cetera. And she realizes, I became the person that I hated the most. The people that are always bringing me down, I became that person. And it's so nice to see that character development, because the character development like that is things that you can connect to. I can recall, wanting to do something in my life, and people being, well, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do it like that? Or, you shouldn't do that. You should just focus on this. And I'm thinking, these are the negative people that I should ignore and should not focus on. And yet I can recall countless of times, well, not countless of times, but multiple times, that I discouraged people from following their passions because it's too expensive to go to college for that, or it's too many years, or you're just not that good, and I wasn't an encouraging person. So in that, as a viewer, I can reflect and I can connect to that character. So character development is so important, and I'm so happy that they did that with this anime. I think people are going to love this anime, and it's going to be one that's going to be talked about this season. I want to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I think I want to be a little bit cautious because it is a new concept. I don't know if it's going to be great or if it's just going to be good. But so for now, I'm going to focus on just it's good, and we'll see if it's awesome and great later on in the series. So 7.5 is what I give it. Let me know in the comment section below if you're going to be watching this one or not. Also, let me know in the comment section below if you want me to watch something else that I haven't given my first impressions for already. There's about 6 or 7 animes that have already aired, and I'm already behind on. I'll eventually get to them, and if you comment the one that you want me to watch, I will watch it I'll put it in the front of the line. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel, comment, like, share, do all that fun stuff. Make sure you go and check out that giveaway video. And I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. And like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.